Hello, and welcome to Teaching My Cat to Read, the very serious book review podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Em.
And I'm Lottie. And this week on our mini episode, we're discussing everything about A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Very excited to revisit this book, guys.
We're not quite discussing everything because we did already do an episode.
Yes, go and listen to that if you haven't already.
All the links are on the website. It's all there. We have a nice long list of all the episodes, and you can also search by author now. I just need to go and update all the double check, but you can do it as a concept.
Nice, technologically advanced.
So, questions that we didn't ask before.
Well, see, I actually went back and listened to the last 20 minutes or so of the episode, and I'm continuing a theme here. We basically went, there's nobody here we'd like to fight, really. I don't feel like it's not a good book to put an F-bomb in, and I think they swear anyway. And basically all we had left was Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, which I also feel is very, inappropriate to the universe. I don't know. Do we think there's anybody... Corbin's dad. I'm putting him forward. Actually, dads in general. Rosemary's dad, Corbin's dad as Gaslight. I can... Maybe?
Yeah. I can see that.
And is it gaslighting to not tell your son that he's a clone of you?
Yes.
I don't know.
Or is that just lying?
Gaslighting...
That's just straight up lying.
Well, it's gaslighting if you are trying to convince someone that they're insane and something that they know to be true is not true.
So if his dad had lied when Corbin confronted him about the clone thing...
Yeah, and said, no, you're just insane,
Yeah.
Gaslighting is not just lying, it's about trying to stop someone from behaving in a way that you don't want by convincing them to doubt their own perceptions.
Yeah. So I think the closest we can get is people just lying. People just straight up lying. And in that case, it's all dads all the time.
I guess they're also as manipulate, because also telling your son that he is not telling him that he's a clone of you is slightly manipulative.
I don't know. I'm
just
still
the bad dad crew, you know.
I'm still putting that under. I think just lying, but
just straight up lying.
Just straight up lying. I think Gatekeep. We actually have some candidates because I think we've got a few different alien species that are kind of going. Actually, we've decided what sapience is, and it's not demonstrably sapient people that we've hung out with across the course of this book. There's a fair amount of we are preventing your access to rights and or liberty and or your own spaceship.
Yeah, that's absolutely gatekeeping.
Yeah, they're gatekeeping Loveless out of having a real TM body, a legged body, a body with legs.
Yes, a different kind of body that she should absolutely be allowed to have.
This is true.
Or she's absolutely entitled to.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, I think we have many candidates for Gatekeep, although I feel like they're all there's no specific character, I would say, so much as there are representatives of institutions or...
Yeah, or cultures.
Yeah. But as for Girl Boss affectionate, first of all. I'm calling Loveless and I'm calling Pay on both of those.
I think that's fair.
No. I'm not sure I think there's anybody that's Girl Boss derogatory.
No. I mean, I just remember really enjoying this book. I'm very excited to read the second one, so I have an excuse to reread this, to be honest.
Yes.
Most of insofar as there are antagonists, they're all off-screen. It's like Rosemary's dad or Corbin's dad. You know, it's not... They're not characters that we interact with as the audience or see firsthand.
Yeah, and the ones that would be kind of the classic antagonists in any other book, the actual angry people on the small angry planet, we're not with them for very long. You know, we get maybe 1 or 2 chapters of their point of view before our characters arrive, and then the kind of everything kicks off, and that's sort of it. Which again, I think is a very cool way of doing the narrative that Becky Chambers is doing, and the kind of the way that it's structured, I do really like. But yes, it does leave us not much space for Girl Boss derogatory, or any of the other negative what's-its of our...
Yeah, like our game of categorising different kind of arseholes kind of falls down on this one. Because there aren't that many arseholes.
Terrible.
Yeah, I just remember really enjoying this book. I've reread the synopsis, just really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it's solid. I think we did say it was like one of our, even though the cat would have been disappointed by the lack of stabbing, or, I mean, the lack of stabbing right up until the very last minute. But
it's a her problem, you know. That's a Gothmog problem. It doesn't mean the book is not 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, this is one of the best books we've ever done.
Yeah.
So I did actually have a new question for you, which is long way specific, which is, in the opposites universe, so, you know, a short rest at a big chill void, or a short cut to a large quiet planet, where everything is the other way round. Reverse verse, mirror AU. How do we think the book would be different? What's the...
Well, I think like a lot of the... I know this is just me. I think a lot of the plot comes from those very slow moments of giving the story a chance to breathe and the characters a chance to breathe and understand, and giving Rosemary like a chance to interact with those characters. Like, it would be a very short book. I think because the joy of this book comes from those like quiet moments in like what I remember from reading this book, which was a while ago now when I last read it. So I think maybe like more misunderstandings possibly, because Rosemary isn't given that chance to sort of connect with the characters.
In some ways, I'm looking at where I've written shortcut to a large quiet planet, and I'm kind of wondering if that isn't just the book in reverse. So we start with the giant blow up conflict that nobody understands, and then we make a quick hop to Spa Planet, and then spend the rest of the book there chilling and recovering from the enormous space conflict that just kicked off at the beginning.
I'm trying to think of a funny answer, like the opposite to this book is like Dune or something. You know, what's a long stressful book where with a sprawling cast of characters where they're all kind of dislikable? I don't know.
I could say.
It's you know what it is? It's Game of Thrones.
Oh no! The
opposite to this book is A Song of Ice and Fire.
Could you say the opposite of this book? If it's set in space, but one character would be the Martian. That is what springs to mind, because it's like one main guy on a planet.
He doesn't go anywhere, yeah.
He doesn't go anywhere, and he's on one planet. So I'd argue that as an opposite.
I think that's... And it's also like there's a lot of extremely high stress.
Yeah, it's like
it's all tension all the time, apart from the occasional wisecrack about Aquaman talking to whales. Although, wait, is that not in the film? That might be just the book.
It's in the book, and it's also in one of the trailers or some promotional material. You've got that vlog of him like talking to himself and talking about
how come Aquaman can talk to whales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not in the movie itself. It might be in like the extended edition, but it was in some extra material.
We could do The Martian for the podcast.
I got like hyperfixated on that film for a while.
That's totally fair. A very worthy object.
But yeah, no, I mean, I recommend this book to people all the time because I talk to lots of people about sci-fi because it ends up being a shared interest, like the kind of work stuff that I do. And every now and then someone says, oh, you know, my teenager is wanting to get into sci-fi. And I go, this is a great, like, some of it, like, it has sex in it. But, like, I recommend that.
I don't know, compared to the sort of thing I was reading when I was a teenager that had sex in, this is both very tame and very, like, hey, this is here is a...
Like, non-traumatic.
A non-traumatic sexual experience in a book that is suitable for young adults.
Well, because I always remember reading Noughts and Crosses.
Yeah.
Where the sex that happens in that book between the two sort of teenage young adult characters is fine and, like, you know, a beautiful thing as far as I remember it. But, like, the book is full of trauma and, like, the fact that there's a kid that results is a like, deeply... upsetting thing. I know I'm talking about a completely different book, but like...
Yeah, that is one of the examples I have in mind of I think I had read, by the time I was like 17, 18, I had read more stuff that had deeply traumatic and or just very awkward or dubiously consensual sex scenes in young adult fiction than I'd ever read just two cheerfully consenting adults happily getting it on. Which I feel like there should be more of that. If you're going to put any sex in teen fiction, come on, like, balance it out a little bit.
It's like modelling healthy, you know, attitudes.
Yeah, like model a healthy relationship. Otherwise, you're just. I'm trying to think what. Oh, it would come. There was. I just remember just reading this book series that, like, I must have been in sixth form, and it was one. And it was one of those books where sixth formers can only read it, and it was just a. I remember thinking about it, and I can't remember the life of me. It was earlier this week, reading the plot of it, and again going, "Why the hell did I read that? This is a horrible. Like, it's just deeply traumatic.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Like this, the long way to a small angry planet is just light fluff, which is the joy of it. It's just light fluff. It's brain calming, chill.
It's actually like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, nothing stressful.
Yeah,
it's all chill.
Yeah,
which is delightful.
I want to go back and reread this book and keep reading the rest of the trilogy because I do own the rest of the trilogy.
We are going to. We're going to read the second one. We're very excited. Yeah. Very excited. I'm definitely going to go and reread this book beforehand.
I could use some cozy escapism in the next couple of weeks. So
I think this book in particular, because it's one of the few sci-fi books I think we've done so far, and I'm trying to think if.
I mean, are we counting C.S. Lewis's...
Batshit Space Trilogy?
Yes, that's science fiction.
Yeah. I mean, if this is science fiction, I think that
really is... It really is fantasy, but it's, they go to space. It counts.
I would say it's like, in some ways, I think I made this point when we made the episodes, but I feel like as science fiction goes, it's got more in common with Long Way than it does with a lot of other sci-fi that is like very focused on the so-called scare quotes hard sciences because it's more interested in linguistics, it's more interested in biology, it's more interested in the plants, it's more interested in the weird geography, and this one is similarly is more interested in what is the weirdest possible alien I could make, and how would that affect the the culture, the way they interact with the universe.
What would they be like if they were people,
Yeah. Which, I mean, the last one in this series is I don't think there's a single human in the whole of... is it Galaxy and Ground Beneath, I think it's called? I get it wrong all the time. There's a filler word in there somewhere that I keep swapping for something else.
Because the next one is Closed and Common Orbit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which has several humans.
Would you consider the Locked Tomb series to be sci-fi?
Oh, see, that's interesting.
I would say, I'd say it's sci-fi fantasy. I guess it's not hard sci-fi like Arthur C. Clarke sci-fi.
No. Well, actually, the magic system is pretty...
The magic system,
is actually pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, the magic system's kind of interesting to me because I can't tell if it's like rigorous and self-consistent or whatever, because I'm so confused all the goddamn time. I can't hold enough of it in my head at any one point to make a judgment call on like how, hard sci-fi
well, we can talk about it next, and we can talk about it in when we record the mini episode for this.
yes, we will have a mini episode out on Gideon the Ninth. But I think we actually are almost at wrap-up time for this mini episode. So if you did enjoy this episode, please go and check out the full episode on A Long Way to Small Angry Planet. All the links are on our website, and whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on, anywhere in the world, you can go and find it all on the website. It's all there. But if you have any books to recommend to us, please let us know. Ping us a message. So
if you have any strong opinions on who's gaslight, gatekeeping, girl boss in The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Yes.
Yeah, any strong opinions.
Send us your theses.
Yeah. Email it in.
Nail them to the wall of our website.
We will eventually get back to you in a 6 to 12 month time period because that's how we reply to emails.
That's how we
eventually get there. But yes, so if you want to say hello to us, even I can do words. So you can contact us on our website. So say hello, send us a message, and recommend us some books to read. Big virtual hugs, and we will see you next time. Bye.